We need change in the world like the bum on a corner. Passing by, trick, bout to get laid, pimp, gotta get paid. We got the same people complaining and begging, scheming and killing, denying their children. Let's change. We need love in the world of little girls on the corner, selling their body. Once was a hobby, now she making a living. Who is she kidding? Lying, pretending, hurting herself, nobody else, just tell to sell. She's screaming for help. She's a motherless child from scheming and killing a fatherless child, 'cause he's running the business. You see, he's pimping those women. We need change. We need a change. Thank you.
When I moved to Atlanta, I was kind of pushed into doing everything on my own, and I was just a little naive girl pushed into that whole fast food entertainment world, and I just started writing my own stuff, and it came out all right.
And here you are. I think it's an amazing achievement.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Like I said at the station, it's just we have a lot of respect for Mike and what he's doing, and we just love him to pieces. And he's like my big brother. So, you know, when he said he was gonna do a indie soul mixer in Bristol, it was like, okay, finally. And here we are. Everybody has just been, you know, excited about what's the movement, what we're trying to show everybody about networking and having a conglomerate, if you will, of just soul energy. So, I mean, we're just, you know, we're, like I said, I'm animated, I'm dramatic about it. I'm like, let's do it.
No, it's a good way to be. Now, one thing I noticed is there is a lot of American artists here, and not so many UK artists, which is okay, because I'm sure by the next time it comes around, there'll be a lot more on board. But how have you found the UK artists work-wise and collab-wise?
Oh, I mean, I found it incredibly amazing. I mean, different regions have different styles and different ways of doing things, but I found the musicians here remind me a lot of the musicians in Atlanta. They can pick up the song very quickly. You know, the synergy is good. They have great attitudes, and the talent is incredible. So, I mean, there's no way that we felt the love immediately.
Joining me now is the absolutely wonderful Celestine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so good. All the better for seeing you.
Oh, I love it. Well done, girl. Pay you later, all right?
All right.
Now, can I just say, it's so nice to see a fellow UK artist here.
Thank you.
How did you get involved in Indie Soul Mixer?
Well, I received an email from other musician friends, and I assume that this email went around to a lot of other musicians as well. And I made contacts, and I said, look, I'd really love to be a part of it. We need things like this. We complain about it all the time. Finally, an opportunity arises, and I'm not going to kind of waste it. I'm going to get onto it. So I made contact with Becky, who's also organising this with Mike. And, you know, off the bat, really just really warm and open, and was like, yeah, we'd love to have you on board. And I just felt, yes, this is a project I could be a part of.
That's really nice, because you've done so much stuff around Bristol, and as you say, Indie Soul Mixer, it's a great platform. For networking purposes and like collaborations, are you making a lot of connections here?
Oh, I'm not just making a lot of connections, I'm making really valuable connections. Because a lot of the artists that you see here, we are all kind of in the same boat, and we're trying to make it in this business, but we're trying to maintain our integrity and our creativity. And it's just great to know that there are musicians that are humble and just great people.
Do you think the way forward is independent, or is it still very much worth trying to get involved with a big record company?
Personally, and this is just my opinion, I think the way forward is knowing what you want, knowing what sort of artist you want to be. If you get signed, great, because at the end of the day, they've got the money and the backing and blah, 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 blah. That's great. But if they don't believe in you, and you don't believe in you, then who will? And independence is, it can work the same way as well. At the end of the day, as long as you know what you want, and just go for it. And that's whether you're signed or not.
Now we're going to go to the organiser of this event, Mike Ashley. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I am fine. Thank you so much for letting us come down, and well done for setting up this event. It's amazing.
Hope you're enjoying it. It's good. Good to get all these people in the building, vibing off each other and collaborating and networking. That's what it's all about.
So can I just ask you, how did the Indie Soul Mixer come together?
Well, basically, I was going to New York predominantly, and I was sort of playing music, DJing and stuff, and sourcing new music, and I was connecting predominantly with independent artists because I found the majors were difficult to get close to, and I found there was a sort of an underground sort of network of music being made, and so I started connecting with the independent artists in New York, and it got to a point where there was so many that I could do on an individual meeting basis. We organised a get-together, and it was just a gathering. The first one that we did, there was no music content, it was just networking and stuff like that, and we didn't know what it was going to become, but that became Indie Soul Mixer 1, and that was 6 years ago in New York. Beyond that, it's got bigger. It's become an established event on the circuit, the Indie Soul Music Calendar. We have speakers, independent artists, managers, promoters, all giving out some wisdom. And then basically we just jam out, and we have typically 20 or 30 artists in the building jamming out for the rest of the night. And we do that in Harlem, New York, and it's going from strength to strength.
We are here now with Colette Williams, one of the young ladies who performed last night. Got to say good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I am fine. Now, unfortunately, I missed you last night, but I did catch you in the studio earlier, and you have the most amazing voice. Who was your inspiration?
Thank you so much. A lot of jazz artists and other artists as well, but I think that I really kind of found my voice when I heard like Billie Holiday sing and Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Nat King Cole. When I heard those voices, I could really connect and relate to them, even though I like, other rhythms, and that's what we try to do with my music, is incorporate that jazz sound with other rhythms.
Can I just ask you, in relation to the other artists, like the UK artists, do you see a big difference with yourselves and the American singers?
No, not at all. American and UK, no, not at all. And I'm actually very, very inspired by UK artists because I think they really keep, not that we don't, but they really keep that soul music alive. They've been keeping it alive. And sometimes we've gotten away from that a little bit, the classic sound, and you all have been really keeping that alive, and we really appreciate that. So for me to come over here and then also to be welcomed and embraced the way you all have embraced me and the other artists that are here, we really, really appreciate it.
We're now going to go to one of Bristol's best artists. It's Zion Flex. Good afternoon, darling.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I had to keep you waiting a little bit. I'm sorry about that, but
I'm really pleased with to be here and happy to be here. And there's so many amazing artists, coming from the States and everything. It's very exciting for Bristol.
It is. Do you find it overpowering?
It is a little bit overwhelming to be around so much talent, and it's just great because the Indie Soul Mixer, and it really is soulful.
One of the people that really inspired me was I had an uncle. Well, he's still here today, thank God. But he was a big inspiration to me. And as far as musical influences are concerned, I would say the music of the 70s has a very, very heavy influence on me. The people like Marvin Gaye and the Earth, Wind and Fires, and I could go on, but there's Isley Brothers, there's so many, but the music of the 70s, heavy influence on the both of us.
I always listen to Roberta Flack, Shaka Khan, what's her name, Natalie Cole. Those are my big people that I kind of played the records over and over again.
So can I just ask you, is this your first visit to the UK?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
How have you found it?
Loving it.
We definitely want to come back,
We are now here with LaSonya Gunter. Good afternoon, darling.
Good afternoon, how are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we were in the studio earlier and we played some of your tracks. I got to admit, I loved your music.
Oh, thank you so much.
You have a wonderfully beautiful, soulful voice. Can I just ask you, you write your own music?
Yes. Yes, yes. I've successfully written and co-produced 3 CDs on my own.
Wow, that is really impressive. What is your inspiration to do that? Because most people would go through a agent or something like that.
The inspiration is not getting an agent, number one, but I worked with a group called City Kids, and I got the opportunity to meet Bruce Willis. And there was like some kind of type of skit we had to do on stage, and afterwards he was like, you have a beautiful voice, you should pursue what you want to do. And for some reason I just thought I could do it better on my own.
Joining me now is one of the youngest performers at the Indie Soul Mixers. It's Khiry, the young Prod'G. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. Thanks. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I'm sorry I got your name wrong earlier, but it's how it goes.
It's good. People mess it up plenty of times. Just get it right the first time. Other times.
It's the English-American thing, so you're going to allow me, right? I heard you doing some freestyling a bit earlier. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, a little free write, little stuff that I do.
But it was really, and what I find about sometimes when people freestyle, it kind of doesn't make sense, which is fine with freestyling. But with yours, it was all really on point. It was literally like you'd pre-written it, but I know that you hadn't. So you're a very talented young man.
Thank you.
Now, did you perform last night, or will you be performing tonight?
I did perform last night. I will be performing again tonight for the second night.
And what's more your genre? Is it soul, R&B, or the hip-hop?
I have a lot of genres, multi-genre. I'm influenced through a lot of different artists, a lot of artists people don't expect me to listen to, so I just don't base on for one sound, and I like to change up different styles and stuff like that. So I guess I'm just trying to find my my basis. Yes. So that's why I experiment, like a regular artist does,
Yeah, I can see that. You come across like the type of guy who likes to experiment and actually produces very good beats. Can I just ask you, do you write all your own material?
Every single word you hear from my mouth is me.
And how do you feel being the youngest person on this tour? Because it's a big deal.
Yes, it's a great opportunity, especially that I got to be able to do this at a young age, striving out, and especially going overseas. This is my first time going out of the country, and I got to come to Bristol as it being my first time. And it's all great in the grace of glory, So it's all because of him, That's why I'm here.
And now we're going to interview the wonderful Catt. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for being so patient and waiting, because you were the first person I approached today.
No problem at all.
All right. Now, have you performed already, or will you be performing tonight?
Tonight.
Yeah. And what can we expect from your performance? Can you give us a heads up?
It's a little bit of soul, a little bit of jazz, all love, all peace, all positive.
Okay. Now, is this your first trip to the UK?
It is.
Yeah. How are you finding Bristol?
I love Bristol. Everybody is so friendly and open and just free, and it's really cool to meet different people, but similar people at the same time, all the way across the ocean.
We are going to go to one of the last, but my most favorite interview of all. It is Misty Sharp. Good afternoon, darling.
Good afternoon.
Now, I've left you to last because you were singing out the back in the recording studio, doing some, what was that, jingles or?
It wasn't jingles. It was like a jam session, I believe, and they just ran a track and we were improvising. We were coming up with the beat and the track and the vocals, all just off the top of our head.
It was really good. You were really good.
Thank you. I didn't know you heard me.
Yeah, you had an audience there listening to you.
My eyes were closed.
So can I just ask you, because you'll be performing tonight?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
No.
Good girl. And what can the audience expect to hear from you this evening?
They expect to hear some originals by me. I know one for sure, which is Change. And the other one is still up in the air because I really like the vibe with the audience. So who's ever playing, like the band, I'll probably start singing a cappella. Then I say, whatever you're feeling, you come in and I'll trust them.